Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. If you jump on here live here on this Monday evening, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure to give the video a like, a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And share the video on all social media platforms. And hopefully everybody's Monday was good and your week is off to a good start. But tonight, I want to talk some college football. I want to go through the entire top 25. Hey there, Austin. Glad to have you here. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, Austin, and thanks for stopping by. I want to go through the full top 25 because last week, it didn't come out until Tuesday, and I thought, well, games start back in a couple days. We'll just wait until next week. So I just went through the top 10 last week. This week, I'm going to go through the whole top 25, and then I've got a couple of comments about some games this weekend. It's going fantastic, Austin. Hopefully yours is as well. But I don't want to go too in-depth about the games because I'll talk more about them later on in the week as we approach the weekend when I talk about all the big games this weekend. But there's three games, really, that when I saw the schedule yesterday, and I'm not a betting man, but I saw who was favored in all three games, and I thought, I feel the exact opposite. I would pick the other team in all three of these games, and I'll tell you what those games are coming up here in a few minutes. And I'm glad you're doing okay, Austin. I was trying to get on here and get done before Raw comes on so that all the folks that want to watch Raw won't be hindered by me, and I want to get done by 8:15 so all the folks that watch Monday Night Football won't be hindered by me. But Ohio State is the number one team in the country, followed by Penn State, LSU, Oregon, and Miami. Then we have Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame, Illinois, and Florida State rounding out the top 10. Hard to believe that through all the years at Florida State with Bobby Bowden and how they were the preeminent program in college football for basically 30 years, that the 77 points they put up Saturday was the most they've put up ever in a game. You'd have thought for sure that back when Bobby Bowden was there, they had a game where they scored that many on somebody. But nope. The 77 they scored Saturday was the most they've ever scored in a game. Hi there. I'm going to hope that's pronounced Dylan. If that's mispronounced, I apologize. 11 through 15, we have South Carolina, Clemson, Oklahoma, Iowa State, and Tennessee. And Austin, you have to watch NXT. I've been saying forever that NXT, to me, right now, is better than Raw, better than SmackDown, better than Dynamite, better than Collision, better than TNA. NXT's been the best weekly booked program for over a year now. Texas A&M, 16, Ole Miss, South Florida, Alabama, and Utah rounding out the top 20. And then we have Texas Tech, Indiana, Michigan, Auburn, and Missouri rounding out the top 25. Now, me personally, I think South Florida should be ranked way higher than 18. Now, 18 for South Florida is still pretty darn good, and they may end up not being very big wins by the time the season's over with, but right now, their two wins have come against Boise State and Florida, and nobody else has two wins that big on their schedule. So to me, just based on who they've played so far, they haven't had a cupcake game. South Florida should be at least 12th. Probably top 10, but at least 12th. And yes, I did watch FCW. And hey there, Ima. Glad to have you here. Been a while since I've seen your name in the comments section, so glad to have you back. But I'll talk more about the games as I always do as the weekend gets closer. But this weekend we have Clemson and Georgia Tech, Georgia and Tennessee, and South Carolina and Vanderbilt. In those three games, Clemson's favored, Georgia's favored, and South Carolina's favored. And I think somebody's crazy. Now, they may end up changing by Friday. It all depends on what the bettors have to say. But to me, just for Vegas to put out those odds, what have you seen from Clemson so far that makes you think they're better than Georgia Tech? Nothing. Defense looks average. Offense looks absolutely pathetic. There's nothing I've seen from Clemson that have me picking them to beat Georgia Tech. Georgia and Tennessee so far, Tennessee's looked better. Georgia's offense looks average. They've got a big problem at right tackle. If they don't get that fixed by Saturday, they might get beat. And South Carolina and Vanderbilt, South Carolina's whole offensive line is garbage. And those two teams have one common opponent. They both played Virginia Tech. The Gamecocks won by 13. Vanderbilt won by 24. Now, that more than likely doesn't matter because sometimes you can have one team beat somebody by 75 and somebody else play and beat them by 2, but the team that won by 2 is actually better than the other team. It's all about matchups and when you play and how you play and where you play and all that. I get that. But this early in the season, the only thing you have to judge on so far is if somebody has a common opponent. And South Carolina and Vanderbilt do. They both played the Hokies, and Vanderbilt looked much better. And Lenore Sellers is not playing so far nowhere near like he played last year. So I would pick Georgia Tech, I would pick Tennessee, and I would pick Vanderbilt. So why Clemson's favored, why Georgia's favored, and why South Carolina's favored, I have no idea. And not sure, glad to have you here. But of course, we'll talk more about those games coming up later in the week as far as who's playing at what time, on what channel, like we always do before the weekend gets here. Hey there, Carter. Glad to have you here. And not sure, and Carter, I think it's the first time I've seen y'all's names in the comments section. If it's y'all's first time being here, for whatever the reason that you stopped by, thanks for being here. Feel free to give the video a like, a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. We talk college football, the NFL, some college baseball, Major League Baseball, some college basketball, the NBA, NASCAR, wrestling. Basically, if it's a major sport, we talk about it. And on occasion, I've even talked about golf, tennis, boxing, but it's mainly the 4 big sports, the sports that just about everybody watches. So feel free to give the video a like and a thumbs up, subscribe, and tell your friends, tell your family. And we've got one more NFL game coming up here in a few minutes, and then week 1 of the NFL will be complete. And unlike last week, when there was no college football game on Thursday, there is one this Thursday. So when you wake up tomorrow, only 2 more days until we start week 3 in the world of college football. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. What did the Frenchman say to the other Frenchman? I have no idea. I don't know French. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.